in the theoretical part is not that difficult, right? I'll show you based on the previous year trends what are the areas that you should focus more. I've explained you enough number of concepts and enough number of patterns. Just solve those for the board exam, that is sufficient. Divide all the chapters into three priorities. First priority chapters, second priority and third priority, and with the time try to cover everything. Last, if the time remains, then you have to cover this topic for full marks. In many places, you will see that people are trying to demean very high marks in the grade 12th or board examination. But my dear kids, when the reality will hit you, you will find that in many exams, in many parts of the future, in many career options, grade 12th marks are going to play a very vital and very important role. For example, if you are going for MBA after your graduation, then definitely the previous academics and the score of the previous academics carry some weightage in the final college list. My dear kids, over there it is going to help you. If you want to get selected, through in a good private college, then the grade 12th marks can give you certain value of scholarship, right? And that will save a lot of money for you. So my dear kids, grade 12th marks are not just pure waste, right? It is not just you have to qualify it, right? And you know that it keeps on changing. The policy of different exams keeps on changing. Sometimes exam also carry a weightage of grade 12th marks. So you have to foolproof all of that, right? You have to be future proof in all of that, right? My dear kids, to do that, we need to aim high for every single subject, and at least what we can do, that we can score 80 plus marks in physics, and it is very easy for anyone to do. Why? Because think about it, when you want to score, let's say that 80 marks, there are 70 marks for theory and 30 marks for practical. If any kid is just behaving decently in the class, right, going to the school regularly, you will find that out of this 30, marks, they are easily getting 29 or 30 marks. Full marks, getting full marks in this particular part is very, very easy, right? But even if you are not performing that well in the school, they will give you 25 marks for free, right? Generally that happens. Generally that's a trend that we have seen, right? So here you get these marks for free, 30 marks. Now you see that to get the 80 marks now, you need around 50 marks, right? But my dear kids, let us keep some relaxation over here. Maybe in some case, if we get sick or something, so there is something going on wrong with us and school. So we don't get the 30 marks, we get certain less. So let's say that if we score 50 to 60 marks, somewhere between 50 to 55 like that, in the theoretical part, definitely we can get 80 marks very, very easily. And scoring these many marks in the theoretical part, is not that difficult, right? I'll show you based on the previous year trends what are the areas that you should focus more and try more problems on those areas, and gradually you will find that you can score a lot more in your board examinations. My dear kids, if you look at the previous year data, right, here you will find that electromagnetic induction, EM induction means electromagnetic induction and alternating current, right? They are the question on this particular topic, they are asking multiple times. Then electrostatics, optics and magnetism. The color of magnetism chart is pretty much similar to the background. So yeah, it is like this. See that these are the top 4 topics, right? These are the top 4 topics that they are asking. After these top 4 topics, the second priority is the priority of these 2 topics: current electricity, electronic devices, or modern physics, right? Current electricity and modern physics, I should say, right? Modern physics, okay? So current electricity and modern physics. You see that this is how we will study in a structured way, so that we can assure maximum marks first and then more marks later on, right? So how can we do that? We will start with electrostatics over here. You see that electrostatics, electromagnetic induction and alternating current, optics and magnetism, right? These are the first 4 units you have to cover, okay? In the electrostatics, generally they are asking derivation for 5 marks multiple times. Derivation on the Gauss's theorem and the application of the Gauss's theorem, there are multiple applications. Dipole question, a derivation of the dipole is favorite, right? You will find it in every other year. Parallel plate capacitor and energy of 2 point charges. So basically all of these derivations are very, very important. Then there are key numericals. For example, Coulomb's law, series and parallel capacitor, U is half CV square. So all of these are also very, very important. So you see that there are certain things that you have to cover in every single chapter. Here I have created the list of all those things. You can download these lists and you can see that what are the important topics of every single unit, right? So here we have it in EMI, electromagnetic induction. They are generally asking questions from Faraday's law and Lenz's law. For 2 marks, they can also ask you to explain what is Faraday's law, explain what is Lenz's law. For solenoid derivation, it is also very, very important as a derivation. The derivation of the inductance, that is also very, very important, right? And these are the basic formulas that you have to go through. In alternating current, these are the things that you have to go through, right? So again, in optics, there are a lot of important topics that you have to go through in optics as well, right? Magnetic effects of electric current, right? So magnetism also, there are certain list of topics I have written over here. Biot-Savart law. So the laws are very, very important. Whenever they give you the name of the scientist in law, they can ask you to explain that particular topic in 2 marks or 3 marks. And after that, you can, there will be a numerical on that, right? Generally, there is a numerical attached with it as well, right? So if the numerical comes as an option, try to go for the numerical, right? If otherwise, they have a Biot-Savart law, and then in the same question as a part B, the numerical is there as well. So then go for that, right? So then you have the priority 2 subjects. So in the priority 2 subjects, you have current electricity and modern physics. So here you have it. In the current electricity, the topics you have to study is over here, are over here, right? So there is a lecture of current electricity. I have, you just search by my name, right? Current electricity by Gaurav Tiwari sir. So you will find it. And there I have explained you enough number of concept and enough number of patterns. Just solve those for the board exam, that is sufficient, right? Semiconductor electronics. So yeah, there is again very, very important part. Modern physics is easy. So it can easily give you 2 to 3 question in your board exam. Modern physics is just easy marks and it can easily give you 2 to 3 marks. And at last, there are priority 3. At last, if the time remains, then you have to cover this topic for full marks, like electromagnetic waves and all, right? So then what will happen? Definitely you will be able to cover the whole thing, right? My dear kids, what I'll suggest you to divide all the chapters into 3 priorities. First priority subject chapters, second priority and third priority, and with the time try to cover everything, right? It is always a good practice that we know the entire syllabus, because sometimes from the chapter that we have missed, the question is very basic, right? So try to cover everything, right? Maybe the third priority chapter you are not covering that deep if the time doesn't allow you that, but the first priority and the second priority must be completed with full heart, right? So in that way, you should be able to score between 55, more than 50, and around 50 to 60, right? And if you have good accuracy, you cover all of that, then definitely you can score very much close to the full marks as well. So I believe the idea is very, very clear, and all the best for your upcoming exam. Just follow the strategy that I have given you and divide the entire subject into the priority list that I have provided. Okay, so I'll see you there in the next class with few more interesting strategies. Till then, take care and bye bye.